If you are experiencing what they call gang stalking, quote unquote, right? Very important to understand the correct terminology for what is happening to you. Electronic harassment and stalking by proxy. That's what you are experiencing. All your stuff is hacked. You're in these situations that are not normal, and you realize that there's something that is happening against you from several groups of people. Once you realize that and you understand that you are in this program or these bullying tactics, you have to understand exactly what you're dealing with. You're dealing with electronic harassment that also classifies as a cyber crime, cyber bullying, and you're also dealing with stalking by proxy. Like in my case, right? It was people saying things everywhere I went. They were saying things that I would say in the privacy of my home, conversation with my wife and different things like that, right? And so I knew that there was something ridiculous going on. People think that they're being followed, or there's always somebody in places that they are. That is stalking by proxy. That is someone always in your space, invading your space. It is a bully thing. We have been conditioned to automatically dismiss people. Me growing up, just throughout my lifetime, in movies, there has always been a connotation of, if someone is crazy, they always say somebody's following me. Even the word hacking, someone's getting hacked, it gives you a connotation, or it gives you a feeling like someone's crazy when people talk about things like that. And that is intentional. That has been intentional through the years when you watch movies and stuff like that of people talking about their info, because 9 times out of 10 that person is correct, has actually happened. Now, I'm not saying that there have been episodes that people have had where they believe things. We have been conditioned as a society to that. If you really think about it, that's the power behind this bully machine that so many people have been experiencing out here. The people that you tell have been conditioned. So it really takes a person that knows you to know that, wait a minute, he ain't gonna lie about nothing like this, so let me see what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? It takes a person like that is not just a follower of the world and a follower of trends and just a sheep. You know what I'm saying? Someone that kind of stands by themselves and thinks for themselves. They'll understand and see it clearly. They're going to try to sabotage your jobs, ruin your business if you have one, and the connections that they have are vast. If you really think about it, what they want to do is consume your time and your attention. Because if they consume your time and your attention, and you're in fear, in a constant state of fear, and you're always focused on the moment right now, on what is being done to you, you won't be able to manifest anything positive in your future, and you won't be able to walk out what you are called to do. You know what I'm saying? Spiritually, we have to understand, you may be chosen to do something in this lifetime. You may have a soul's purpose that in the bigger scheme of things, these evil forces are trying to stop you from doing. You have to go inside yourself to be able to understand that. But they are literally draining you to keep you confused, in a confused state, so that they can harvest your energy. If you are being targeted, electronically harassed, it's going to be because you're out here doing your thing and others like you. Sometimes people don't like when other people like you. You know what I'm saying? And so that bothers them as well. You're definitely going against a narcissistic type force. Revenge, it could also be because someone has done or is doing something illegal behind your back. A lot of it has been tied to identity theft, inheritance, life insurance, things of that nature. And you have to remember that we're all walking policies. Everybody is a walking check. And so once you understand that as well, you understand that nobody's safe. Even the people that are doing those things to you, they're not safe either. So once you really be able to step outside and see that and understand what the real terms are that you're going through, then you can be able to fight back the right way. So instead of complaining, you're documenting. It's going to make all the difference in the world. A lot of it is witchcraft as well, because they are literally doing word spells and smear campaigns, and some might even be dabbling into the dark arts and things of that nature. So you're really dealing with something that is bigger than what the normal person is going to experience in their life. You know what I'm saying? So you have to defeat them spiritually first so that it can manifest physically. I've already received my victory in the spirit. That's how I'm able to stand in my power and be honest and transparent about my experience with no fear. Is because I already have the victory is already done through Christ Jesus. To get through this type of organized crime, you have to win spiritually first. They want you in fear. They want you to be afraid, too afraid to speak. They want you to be so afraid and so checked out in your life that you crawl into a hole and literally go away. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what they want. Once you realize that that's what you're going through and you start to understand the correct terminology, then you can attack them in the correct way. And you can start exposing them in the correct way. The number one thing that you have to do is speak up for yourself. If you do not expose it, it will not stop. You know, I know in my case, if I never said anything, I'd be in a mental institution, I'd be gone, I wouldn't be here, or I would have crashed out and done something crazy. And that is the result that these people want. Whoever's responsible for doing it to you, they want to affect your life in such a way that you give up. What helped me is speaking up first of all, but God first of all. And God led me to speak up and stand up for myself. That's what it's going to require. Regardless of how you look, you are going to risk looking crazy because the things that you are explaining are meant to look like that. So you're going to have to get through that part because you're going to have to go through that. And once you continue to get confirmations and you learn how to document and you learn how to start writing down or doing videos of documentation, you start to see the patterns in your own videos and you start to see the patterns in your own documentation that are just too undeniable to ignore. If you are being affected by that in your life, begin to call it the correct things, expose it, and stand up for yourself. And know that God is bigger. You got this. Go get it.
Pushing out positive.